amazing. I love working hard. I loved hustle culture too before it became cringy as hell. I love to be a that works hard, but at the end of the day, bro, there's room for life, gang. You can exist. Welcome back to the Stanley channel. Today is gonna be me, it's gonna be chat, and we are reacting to a video from the one, the only, the homie, Ray Like Sunshine, the Gen Z career apocalypse. Y'all broke. You broke. You got no money. Nah, I'm joking. But let's get into it. Like,
welcome back to the no good, very bad, terrible, horrible side of the internet.
Yo.
The other one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Also, don't worry. I am not wearing a full suit. Can someone tell me what's up with the Gen Z job market today? Oh, I am that someone. Okay, this is what's up with the Gen Z job market today. Gen Z cannot find jobs. The unemployment rate for Gen Z is
Yo, that's crazy because Cutiful's first message in response to my intro was, "They not hiring us, Stanley." Yeah, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put that pressure on you.
Almost twice the national average. Everyone says that there are more jobs out there than ever. Yet everyone I know who is struggling trying to find a job right now, for the life of them can't even get a call back despite networking, cold emailing, and entering all their information onto company online portals.
Have we thought about robbing, stealing? Have we thought about, instead of trying to get hired, trying to get into the CEO's home instead, to hand them your application? You know what I'm saying? Not anything else.
Enter your information below. Why did you make me give you my resume in the first place? I don't know what the is happening with employers these days, but judging from both the experiences of people online and people in my own life who are struggling through it, we all seem to be sharing the same canon event of trying to jump into boiling water and then being told, oh, you actually don't have enough experience to jump into this boiling water.
Right.
Now, I know it may be a bit naive for a YouTube commentary creator to be talking about the job market, but I promise you, I very recently had the same struggles as all of you did. And I swear, I'm not out of touch. Yet. Still got about 2 years till that happens. So I actually graduated during the pandemic, and it actually took me 6 months and over 800 job applications to get my first job out of college. And that job was essentially what amounted to data entry. At the time, I thought 800 was an absolutely insane number of applications to go through before actually finding a job. And so to hear that 800 is actually on the low end of what some people are experiencing, I'm just here to answer, what happened to us?
I'm telling you, bro, 100 applications a day is gonna get you there.
They're expecting unreasonable salaries. Like, they think that they go to school for 4 years and come out with a degree and then they automatically start making 100K.
3 out of 4 managers hate working with Gen Z, and here's why. It's so bad that 27% of employers have fired the employee within the first month. Article from where this comes from.
Dang, that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, jobs hate firing people as much as they hate hiring them. So like, the fact that people are getting fired too is actually genuinely crazy. I didn't know that.
States that most Gen Zers lack
my psychology degree don't mean, dang, bro, is it that hard out there for y'all?
Motivation, effort, and get easily offended.
Some statistics. Do you know what percent of Gen Z workers claim they experience burnout at work? Not 20%, not 40%, not 80%, not 90%. 98% of you experience burnout.
Okay, so we're having trouble in the job market because employers think we're lazy, we're too entitled, and we're all depressed. Kind of sounds like my cat, who actually just moved in with me.
Aww.
Minus the depressed part. He's actually very fat and happy. And so today I'm here to answer a bunch of questions. Questions like, are Gen Z workers actually just worse than other demographics?
No.
Or is the bias against Gen Z just an effect of the changing times and culture that we have within the
Also,
workplace?
no,
are the
but
people
yes.
criticizing Gen Z just straight up wrong? And is
No.
it weird to slot a sponsor part? Okay, cool. What's up?
Just leaving in the middle of the shift without telling anyone, or just saying, well,
See, that's bad work habits right there.
I'm just never going to show up to work again. I don't like it. On behalf of all of your coworkers, get tell somebody. Say, hey, you know what? This isn't working out. I'm not coming back. Or
I'm all for Gen Z people taking like their autonomy when it comes to working and knowing what they are are and aren't willing to like work through or struggle through or case scenarios like that. However, though, it doesn't mean that there isn't improper etiquette. I'll say that, because I am fully for leave the job, find another job that'll pay you. Never put your job first. Always try to find a better way in life. The job don't really care about you like that. You there for some money, they there for you to work, or they there because they need you to work, and that's the relationship. It is not family vibes or atmosphere in there. They can mess with you, but it's only as long as you're doing your job. It's always gonna be like contextual to how hard you work. But at the same time, when it comes to leaving and things of that nature, there is still ways to like properly do so. There's things that you should probably say in a polite manner, you know what I'm saying? Now, granted, does the job deserve that? No, but you're supposed to be a polite individual because that's who you are, not because somebody deserves it out of you.
Week's notice, something. But whatever you do, don't just fucking not show up.
See, I can understand from an employer's point of view
rude.
why it could be frustrating for an employee to just not show up and quit without a notice. That being said,
and then it goes to the other side of it where it's like you really shouldn't generalize Gen Z based off of 1, 2, 3, 4 other Gen Z people's actions. But at the same time, you know, you're not giving them a good foot to start off their thought process.
Does your work give you a 2-week notice?
Nope.
Do they give you any notice at all? And
nope.
You know what? I think we should be treating terrible jobs like terrible first dates.
Makes
by
sense.
Enforcing boundaries, making sure they pay their fair share, and ghosting the fuck out of them. Look, all I'm saying is at least when someone ghosts me after a date, they don't also take my paycheck, my health insurance, and frankly, a piece of my already dwindling sanity.
For the 4th time, the 4th Gen Z worker we have hired at my job has not shown up. Second we get them done with training, because it takes about a month or 2 to go and learn all the systems, the computer equipment, the machinery, everything we got at this place. When we finally get them trained up to where they can be on the schedule, they just up and never call anybody again and never show up again.
I think there's this old Chinese proverb that translated into English goes, if someone smells like dog shit, then they probably stepped in dog shit.
Right.
If everyone smells like dog shit, then you should probably check your own shoe. Confucius. If you have 4 Gen Z workers all suddenly up and leaving, the work conditions at your company
are probably not the best.
Are probably just bad.
Yeah.
That means the people who left would literally rather be unhoused than work at your company. I mean, he mentions that the work is backbreaking and that the shifts are 12 hours even on weekends.
So instead of having
Man, they better than me. I wouldn't even have made it through the training, bro. You wouldn't even have caught me through the training, bro. They better than me.
my normal 12-hour shift day, I'm looking at about a 16, 17-hour shift.
And it's not like it's a bad job.
It's almost as if they weren't transparent at all during the onboarding process.
16, 17-hour shift? Are you crazy?
Yeah, this is not what I signed up for. And I think it just goes to show how out of
That's
touch
so
a lot
real,
of these people
beautiful.
can be when talking about Gen Z. It's just a complete lack of self-awareness and self-reflection, which are 2 major areas of improvement for our next guest. Not actually a doctor. When you were younger, was literally fired for not showing up to work. And yet you were still given the same opportunities that led you to become a successful businessman. But now that you are a successful businessman, you now actively choose not to give those same opportunities to people who are literally in your position. Why is it that you're allowed to make the same mistakes that younger generations are making, but we aren't? This really seems just more like a young person problem and not a Gen Z problem. Because you for sure know that this guy's bosses were probably saying,
where do the labor laws start getting in place? Like, if I'm working 12-hour shifts, it's a little bit more understanding if I'm starting to get paid overtime as soon as I get past the 8 hours. And then once I get past, 40 hours for the week, I start making overtime on that too. Like, if that's the case scenario, then it's not working as bad because now I'm still properly being incentivized for my time, paid for my time. But if I'm getting paid the same hours, or even worse, I'm on a salary job and I'm not getting to see those extra hours, then why am I there? It doesn't even make sense. You know what I'm saying?
the same thing. Oh, you don't want to work a 12-hour shift? Back in my day, I didn't complain a single time where I did 14-hour shifts in the coal mines. Oh, you don't want to work in a coal mine for 14 hours? Back in my day, I didn't complain at all when I was pulling 24-hour shifts in the factory at 6.
Nah, pass.
This sucks ass. They're raised by the internet? No, we're raised by you. It wasn't the internet that packed our lunches or bought us phones
Or put that iPad into their hands and told them to watch, what is it? The junk with the shorty, like the, what is it? Coco Melon, and told them to watch Coco Melon.
Or enforced healthy boundaries on screen time.
Yeah,
it was you.
facts.
And considering the fact that the internet is literally 50%, we'd all be gooners by now if that was actually the case.
What do you think his go-to was?
Okay, maybe have a point. At one point, they bring in a Gen Z healthcare worker and have a 4-on-1 team deathmatch with her, which really pissed me off because this is clearly not skill-based matchmaking and was completely unfair. For the full.
Dang, I would love to watch this. I don't even gotta hear nothing from my sister right now. I know she is talking that truth, because it doesn't make sense to cover somebody's shift for no pay. It doesn't make sense, and especially in these salary jobs where you literally just locked into a certain income. Doesn't make sense for me to take on more shifts, stay longer, cover somebody, overexert myself, work outside of time when I'm at home, think or schedule for the job when I'm outside of the job, come in early, schedule things that other people are supposed to schedule, pick up the slack, all that. It doesn't make sense. There's no way to compensate me for that.
Nuances of being an employee of theirs into consideration.
Right. And if you're not that, what if I'm a complacent person? Everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean everybody like her. Everybody who thinks like her doesn't understand that you saying in your own voice, I am this, means that there are people who aren't this. So what about the people who aren't that? Where's the space for them? What if she just wants to go to work, make her pay, and go home? She should have a space for that because she exists.
Do you know what I value?
Right, and for the people who aren't like you, who want to be compensated for their time instead of valuing their integrity as a person, acting as if that's gonna make it be in shambles or something if I say no to picking up an extra shift is crazy. But like, that person should be able to live and be allotted and paid for their time.
Pay our dues. How about you help me pay my bills? And I think this is a huge reason why Gen Z is so disillusioned with the current job market right now. The current old guard are still arguing for paying your due before actually getting paid. And unfortunately for us, inflation doesn't really wait for us to pay our dues. It just wants you to pay.
Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man?
And that's if you can actually find a job, which today feels less like hunting for a job and more like getting hunted by a job. The amount of hoops that some companies are asking their applicants to go through is asinine. Write a short poem using these words: giraffe, cacophony, and giggles. Okay, here you go. Giraffes are long. My giggles are too. But not for this crap, because holy you. It's not hard to go online and find job openings that are requiring advanced degrees and pay close to minimum wage, or have thousands of applicants just hours after it's posted. And it makes it all the more frustrating when you have creators like this popping up in your feed and gaslighting you into thinking that everything is fine.
People are lying to you about the job market. This is actually a great job market. There's record low unemployment. So why is everyone saying the job market's so bad? Way too many people competing for the same handful of jobs. That's part of it. And then people have really gotten lazy in the way that they're applying to these jobs.
Are you actually a spatula? Let's talk about unemployment, by the way, which as of recording this video is 4.1% or 7.9% for Gen Z. I'm going to dig deep and fall back on my background of being a econ and accounting major and take a look to see if that 4.1% actually is indicative of a healthy job market. What exactly is not included in that 4.1%? If you've applied to thousands of postings and you decided to take a break from job applications, you are not in that 4.1%. If you were a six-figure engineer who is laid off and now you have to DoorDash to pay rent, you're not in that 4.1%. Not that there's anything wrong with doing DoorDash, but going from Mang engineer to DoorDash is probably not indicative of a healthy job market.
Right.
And if you work in a job that pays so little that you have to decide between utilities and food, you are not in that 4.1%. So yes, technically, the unemployment rate is 4.1%. But as we can all see, that is definitely not a good measure of economic prosperity. The actual percentage of people who are either working jobs that pay under $25,000 per year or are unemployed is actually closer to 24%. I thought this whole entire time we were just numbers to them. It turns out we're not even that. And this isn't even touching the insane attitude that a lot of managers today have about work culture. I found this one LinkedIn post talking about a company power hour. This morning we launched the Just Eat Power Hour. Our colleagues told us while in lockdown, they were on back-to-back calls and found it difficult to take a break away from their screen. That's not how we roll. So we introduced Power Hour. Oh, nice. So we get an extra hour on top of our lunch break to do what we need to do. Right? Right? Is this in addition to the lunch break? This is an hour to be away from the screen. You could be writing a to-do list, having lunch, going for a walk, exercising. You choose. This is literally
what?
A rebranded lunch break.
They rebranded lunch breaks to make it healthier? There's no way they just gluten-freed my lunch break, bro. It's just a lunch break without the word lunch break on it, bro. That is so crazy.
No. Actually, this is great. I have been inspired. I will now allow my researcher to use the toilet rather than the company-provided bucket I'd leave in their cubicle. When you are 22 and in your new job, throw yourself to work. Eat well. Stay fit. But put in 18 hours a day.
That's crazy.
5 years. That early, worship the work. The flex you build in the first 5 years of your career carries you for the rest of it. Oh.
That sounds
nice.
Awful, man.
At least you have your work to flex, because certainly wouldn't be flexing anything else.
Right.
Working 18 hours a day and staying fit and healthy are mutually exclusive.
And another part of that is like, bro, why would anybody do that if they have options? Like, why would anybody choose that life of 5 years gambling that a company likes you instead of just putting your life in your own hands and gambling something else? Like, it just doesn't make as much sense as it used to. Beforehand, there wasn't that many options for people. Now there's so many more options and people know about those options too. And then when you know about those options, or you know about places where, even if it's not entrepreneurial, if it's like as a creator or if it's at a different company, you just know like, oh, they treat their people like that over there. Why would I try to stay here instead of getting over there? It's just not a good product that companies are building in terms of like company culture.
Exclusive things. And I think I can actually speak on this from experience. When I was doing a summer internship at an accounting firm, I was roommates with someone who was also entering that summer, except he was doing it at an investment bank. If you don't know what investment bank work culture is like, this man was an intern working 16 hours a day up to 6 days a week. On move-in day, he had it.
Yeah, they would have to walk in, turn my body over from being dead on that desk. I would be asleep every single time that they came in. They would have to drag me out on a paramedic table.
6-pack. In 10 weeks by move out, he had gained 20 pounds just from the stress and inability to eat healthily. But I don't know. He was only working 16 hours a day. Maybe if he followed this guy's instructions and worked 2 more every day, he'd probably still have a 6-pack. You guys are spending your Sunday nights watching grown men fight over a ball. I'm making cold calls and catching up on emails. How to win Zid with everyone else's acts. If I'm trying to enjoy my Sunday night and I get a single cold call.
Bro, I have had stream chat open streaming and NBA games live on my phone to watch the NBA scores go up and down. I have worked and had the NBA game right here and typed away while work. People act like you can't have a work-life balance, bro. People try to make it seem like if the only thing that you're doing isn't this, then you're failing. No, bro, that's not the case, bro. Amazing. I love working hard. I loved hustle culture too before it became cringy as hell. I love to be a that works hard, but at the end of the day, bro, there's room for life, gang. You can exist.
We have some great deals on
Trace the call, Siri.
Today, if you know what I'm talking about, you know, and you
what, bro? There's sometimes if y'all ever see me in stream like this, bro, there's times where I'll have music playing while I'm reacting so that I can enjoy the reactions more, because then I get music in the reaction at the same time, bro. I am going to enjoy my job however ways may be. And someday I'm watching a reaction and I'm like, yo, you know what? This reaction would be fire if I had some music going too. Matter of fact, bro,
like, you know, someone who knows about shit in their ass. So, you know, I thought at a 10 p.m. on a Sunday. So, but oh, hold on, someone's at my door. Hey, wait, no.
Guess you should
How you
say.
listen to
Hey, yo, Gen Z, quick question. Are y'all having sex? Because it doesn't really seem like y'all are having sex or doing anything fun, for that matter. I don't have a ton of anecdotal data about this, but the data that I do have suggests that y'all don't like to go out, don't drink, don't do drugs.
Why you meat watching? Why you box watching? Like, what you gonna do, son? Like, what you gonna do? Like, you gonna help him? I just feel like that's an odd question to be asking us.
And don't really have sex. You can be an overthinking, anxious adult the rest of your life. Your 20s are for fucking up.
Yeah, so we can't find jobs, and even when we do, we're overworked and underpaid. So tell me, with what money are we going to buy drugs with? Maybe if 70% of my pay didn't go to rent and the other 30% went to groceries that I need to live, I can buy some nose beers, Lauren. Anyway, that's
Is drugs really that expensive out there, chat? Let me know.
the only reason I don't have sex. That's the reason. But that's not to say Gen Z doesn't have any issues when they do make it into the workforce. For example, like that one girl that got fired because she went into the office on her first day in an office siren uniform.
Okay, right. I forgot this dude existed. I was like, bro, what does me have to do with the Caucasian woman who got fired from her job? Okay. Yeah. I was just perplexed for a second, bro. My fault. I'll let him get back to it.
Yeah, so I was trying to find the original video by searching office siren in TikTok, and
the office siren thing was crazy happening.
Unsurprisingly, all I got was porn. So, in fact, upon further review, there actually isn't an original video. The whole drama stemmed from a single comment on a single random video.
Oh,
so
really?
much like all the other complaints with Gen Z in the workforce, this one is probably fake and made up. That being said, let's try to not normalize this.
Thank you,
Let's
Grace.
dress business casual and not let's get down to business, because it's just making everybody think that this is what we all dress like in the office, and we're already having a tough time as it is. And to add to our misery, a while back there was also this trend of tech influencers showing off a day of their work.
Man, this was a time. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of bags got fumbled right here, but I was eating this up. Bro, you don't understand, bro, especially in Austin, bro. They started showing you all the spots of where you could work remote at. So I was looking at Orion, Houston. What, bro? I was figuring out everywhere I could bring a laptop. This was lit. It's sad that it ended the way it did, but this was great for me.
Working in tech. I started my morning with a hot yoga class.
Facts,
although,
beautiful.
Of course, on my way out the door, somehow the handle to my closet broke, so I couldn't even get my yoga mat. I then made the mistake of scootering into work because I didn't want to walk in the rain, but honestly, I think walking would have been less painful because with the wind chill, my hands were literally frozen. I was actually so cold that I made Blake warm my hands up for like 10 minutes because I couldn't feel my fingers. But there was a really
10 minutes, bro. She got no heat in her body. 10 minutes is crazy.
cute dog in the office today, so that helped make things better.
This is actually one of the more tame ones I've seen, but it still made me go, maybe you shouldn't have posted this.
Right.
Maybe that wasn't a good idea.
I then had another team meeting to talk about our sales strategy for the year, including quotas and comp, always fun stuff. And then I had some time to actually get work done, which is very unusual because I'm usually in meetings all day.
Oh, it's unusual for you to actually be able to get your work done? Okay, Cool.
Like,
Shut
that's
the
so
fuck up.
crazy.
This is not me being angry. This is legitimate legal advice.
Hey guys, welcome to a day in the life of a Googler in New York City. Before I head up for breakfast, I get out Milo's office bed and his office toy. First, I need a coffee. The free coffee is seriously one of my favorite perks at Google, and I take a minute to appreciate our
That food did kind of look like it was hitting on something though.
beautiful office views. After that meeting ends, I have a coffee chat, so I head up to the rooftop because the weather was nice. A little OOTD. Then I had more back-to-backs until around 5 p.m. that day.
If you had a job that paid you 6 figures and all you did was play with dogs, grab snacks, and be in quote-unquote meetings all day, why would you tell people about it? That's a dick move. This is like if you were robbing a bank and getting away with it.
That's like the people who robbed the Louvier being like, yeah, all we did was like go through the roof. I think we used like a bar or something, break the window, put some jewelry in the bag, and then we dipped out. Like that, you don't want to tell people your method, bro. It's gonna get everybody else caught up when they try it.
And then you decide to go and tell everyone how cool it is to rob a bank. Like replace the word a bank with Google, and that is literally what is happening.
I had another meeting after this one, so I head back down to the MK, grab a LaCroix and an espresso, and also do a little snack tour to see what we had today.
Look, I don't think there is anything inherently wrong with benefiting at the expense of a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Facts.
But posting these for everyone to see not only doesn't do anything for the rest of Gen Z, but this exercise of trying to seek external validation for your cushy-ass job is actively harming the rest of your generation. If the perception of Gen Z is that we are lazy and overpaid, videos like this kind of prove their point. Yeah, this video is way longer.
And then it ends up being the loud minority versus like, you know, the quiet majority thing all over again. Because there is vast amounts of people who are working hard at the job and can't record it because they're, guess what? Working hard. What happened to you? Why did you start? Did you drink water today? Why did you guys start doing that? Why did your eyes start doing that? What's wrong with your face? Fix your face. Why did y'all start blurring out on me? Hello? 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 But like, yeah, bro, it ends up being bad for everybody.
Than what I'm used to. Look, I know that a lot of what I've said today comes off as doomer and extremely negative. And going into this, that is really not the attitude that I wanted to carry this with. And while I am joking for a lot of this video, there are serious structural issues with the job market right now. It may not be the reality for all of Gen Z or even most of Gen Z, but there are people legitimately struggling out there. So I want to offer you a different perspective, a vision for a future, nay, a glimpse into the inevitable epoch of when Gen Z finally take over the economic reins. Can you imagine a world where we all go into the office only if the vibe is right, and where it's acceptable to dap up your boss, where it's totally okay to end an email with anything like slay or period or I want to kill my... Like, what if we did have a world where everyone understood the struggle of rising prices and compensated people fairly? What if we didn't have to pay our dues, but we were entrusted as capable and adaptable employees who could be counted on to finish your work on time no matter where we were? That is our future. That is our inevitability. And that is what we have to look forward to. And for those of you who are still on the job hunt, you've probably heard this a million times by now, but try not to be discouraged. Yes, things seem bleak right now. And it seems like no matter how much effort, blood, sweat, and tears you put into it, you just seem to be getting nowhere. But
like, who cares if you're about to get kicked out? Who cares if you can't support anybody, yourself, or a relationship financially? Who cares that everybody making more money than you? Who cares that that person just bought their house and you still live in, damn, that apartment still? I mean, who cares? Like, you know what I'm saying? You've been saving up for a whip for 3 years now. Who cares? Like, who cares? You get what I'm saying, bro? At the end of the day, bro, you feel me?
You're not getting nowhere. You're still learning with every single application, with every single interview. You are still learning every time.
What
it's
he
just a tough
said,
time
man.
right now. But if you keep putting in that effort, great things are going to happen. Anyways, if you made it this far.
No, genuinely though, keep putting in effort. Though life may not be figured out right now, just understand the higher you go income wise, the more things that you end up finding that you need to resolve. There's more things that you end up inevitably being in a position to where you're gonna have to give it attention, and it's always gonna not necessarily feel like you need more money, but like there's gonna be parts where you got need money in general and things of that nature. So where you're at is always great to enjoy it and strive for better, but no pressure on yourself for not reaching the goals you want to set yet, because inevitably the human desire is to reach goals and then set new ones whether you want to or not. And yeah, you could grow out of that, but it's not everybody who does. So you're fine where you're at and you'll get to the places you need to be. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just keep going. No cap. All right, if you guys like the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe down below. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Click this video right here because it's supposed to be a video that you like.